Good morning. This is Professor Anderson with a little bit of feedback for your writing assignment number 3, the rough draft. Well, the memo to a decision maker, your rough draft. So I read your note here. Let me go back. Oops. Yikes. Here we go. I read your note here about your changing subject. Be careful because I'm not sure if they've actually implemented. I know that they're moving to implementing that the same topic must be addressed through all 4 writing pieces. So I will double check on that. We're already past that point right now, so let's just move on with what we have here. But it does make it a lot easier when you maintain the same topic throughout all 4 writing assignments, because now basically you have to redo your synthesis of literature review. And it sounds like you have quite a passion for this topic, so that won't be a problem researching new information, but it will create additional work, just to let you know that real quickly. Now, what I noticed here, and I pulled up the PDF for the assignment sheet and then also a sample, the sample writing. This is located in week 4. It says sample papers, and this one's sample memo for writing assignment number 3. You need to follow the template. There is a template put in place for a reason. So a memo serves kind of like a receipt. If you think about going shopping, you have your articles, the price paid for each, the tax, the store, the address, the location, the cashier, blah, 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 all kinds of information. And they're organized in very specific, each receipt is identical in terms of the layout of information of where it can be found. And that's what a memo really serves like, is a receipt. So that a busy decision maker, when they have hundreds of memos in front of them, knows exactly where to go to find the information that they're looking for. So most, busy executives are just going to read the summary. And if that pulls their attention, then they'll read the rest. So that's why these memos need to be in a certain format. So that's one thing we need to do. And let me share with you this from this example. The sample, this might help to clarify and for you what information goes where. So this is a totally different topic. It's about checking in patients in a busy surgery center. So here's what the summary does. Here's our problem. This is a little bit of more information about the problem, and it's causing some serious issues. This would mitigate those issues. And with your permission, I'd like to conduct further research on the implementation of this recommendation. So basically the summary is 2 to 3 sentences about the problem, 1 sentence to say, this might solve, this is the recommendation, this might solve that problem. And then a final sentence to say, with your permission, I'd like to conduct further research to see how this recommendation can address this problem. So that's what you want to do here is drug use. You do not need to have, this does not need to be cited. For a memo, you are saying, here is the problem, not across America, in your school district, if it's just in your school district, because it looks like you have sent this to the West Virginia Board of Ed. I'd be a little more specific. Whose office do you want to send this to? Preventative measures with students' impaired childhood development. I'm not sure what you're recommending. So here's what you want to do. Let me go back to this example. So there's your summary. Problem, problems it causes, possible solution, permission. The next one is, this is a little more information into the problem. And specific points about that problem that hinder it even further. Here's a little more information about, this is how we could solve it. This is why solving the problem would be beneficial. This gives a quick introduction of 2 to 3 sentences on the secondary research that has already been conducted, and that's a general overview of your synthesis of literature review. This is the finite nitty-gritty of why you're writing the memo, because remember, you have to write to a decision maker to continue to conduct research on the topic. So the primary research will be, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to conduct surveys. I'm going to interview. I'm going to take photographs. I'm going to, what data are you going to collect and how? That's what the primary research is. And how is it relative to the problem? So then what will be the benefits of the results from your research? So here's where you want to organize the data that I collected will help to support the recommendation of A, B, or C. So perhaps you want to recommend to institute or implement a drug intervention or drug awareness program in elementary schools that is, 1 month, 1 day out of each month throughout the year. It's a 10-part series. Each component lasts, I don't know, an hour long. It's age appropriate. I'm not sure. I'm just rambling right now, trying to think of what it is that you might want to incorporate. But this is where that benefit from the research, you'll be able to target students at this age are aware and need more finite details. Preliminary ideas, that's where you're going to detail a 10-month project, whatever it is. Is it going to be a video? Is it going to be a group of a series of online professional, child learning benchmarks? And then conclusion. Notice here's our problem. I'd like to research it more. I'd like to research more about how this recommendation will work. So I hope that that's helpful to help you organize. It looks like throughout here, you have a lot of information in terms of a synthesis of literature. How can you take that information that you've gathered and develop it more specifically to the problem in West Virginia of drug awareness in schools? So that's really where the nuts and bolts of the memo, that's what you're trying to expand on your research. And I hope that that was helpful, and I look forward to reading your final copy.